Alrighty, guys, we are live. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I didn't really have time to check all my settings and test my gear or set up my camera. But we do have breaking news in the Rachel Morin case. Let me get this image up here. They arrested Victor Martinez Hernandez. This guy right here. Welcome in, CJK. Silas. Beth, welcome in. Cindy. And Leslie Kingston. Looks just like that sketch right there. Pretty good sketch. The ears are a little off, but the nose seems to be spot on. The lips are closed. The eyes, the eyebrows. His head is a little bit too wide, but other than that, the lower face, boom. Yep, very similar. Yeah, his face is longer, but the features are really good. I think well, at least the nose. I think the nose and the eyes are pretty good. And the weird hairline. Yeah, we knew he had a fucked up hairline. I think he was arrested yesterday. Let's get to some of this news here. Okay. Here's one article that I found right away. It looks like it's breaking all over the internet right now. You always think you're going to be first. Here, let me zoom this in for you guys. This is by Julie Sharper, and it's out of the Baltimore Banner, titled "Man Arrested in Oklahoma in Slaying of Rachel Morin." And I have his booking information as well. This was posted this morning. The image there is Patty Morin, her mother, holds a photo of her daughter, Rachel Morin, in Timonium, Maryland on Friday, February 2nd, 2024. And there's the name again if you missed it, Victor Martinez Hernandez, which is, believe it or not, probably a really popular name. What's up, Jerry? Welcome in, guys. Courtney R., welcome. Same guy from Cali incident. Yep, same guy. Remember, that's the incident where they got his DNA. Or where they matched. They got a hit on his DNA. What's up, Courtney? Oh, I guess I was first. Let's go to this news here. Breaking, once again, if you're just joining us, they made an arrest in the Rachel Morin case. His name was Victor Martinez Hernandez, arrested in Tulsa late Friday. Authorities have made an arrest in the killing of Rachel Morin, the Hartford County mother of 5 whose body was found near a popular hiking trail in August, according to her family. Victor Martinez Hernandez was arrested in Tulsa late Friday night and booked into the jail Saturday morning, according to the family and court records. And I have those here. He was charged with first degree murder and first degree rape, according to Morin's family. The Hartford County Sheriff's Office would not confirm the arrest, but announced the Sheriff Jeffrey Galler would provide a media update on the Rachel Morin homicide investigation at 2 p.m. today. And I believe that's in about 25 minutes. So we'll definitely be airing that here. So as soon as you guys find any links for that, send them to me. Mods, if you can post them in the chat. But if anybody finds a good link, email it to me, actually. Okay. So, I mean, that's the news there. This was posted from Laura Engel. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, this is a case that we've covered extensively on my channel. So, yeah, it looks like they're just following up, stating that they're going to be doing a press conference here. Hartford Sheriff Sheriff Galler will be providing a media update on the Rachel Morin homicide investigation. So here, let me pull up that arrest document. Oh, thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. Thank you. Alrighty, let's take a look here. And this is from the Tulsa jail that he was booked into. So there's his name again, Victor Martinez Hernandez. So they have him listed as 5'8", 160. I think he was reported around 5'9", or didn't we say we thought he was 5'9"? So it's good to compare what we were thinking to what they have here. Arrest time 11:28 p.m. on the 14th, last night. Booked in just 20 minutes into the 15th there. Listed as a fugitive from justice. And he'll be in court on Monday. Is this something to do with immigration? I don't know what that's all about. ICE. I wonder if we were right, if he was an illegal immigrant. I'm really curious to see how close we were with the stuff that we came up with. Yeah, and right now they're all just pretty much saying the same thing. Let me see if there's anything new. Yeah, looks like everything's saying the same thing. Here's one from CBS. Let's see what they got. Thank you, Leslie. Just waiting for this commercial. My guess is they're going to announce the arrest and that there's going to be a press conference. Thank you so much, V. Good to see you, by the way.
To you last night.
All right, let's put this up on the screen here. Minute 34 seconds. CBS News, Baltimore.
This is your CBS News Baltimore update for Saturday, June 15th. I'm Miana Massey. We're updating you on breaking news that we first brought to you last night on WJZ News at 11. A 50-year-old woman is dead and police are investigating after a horrific attack by two stray pit bulls in West Baltimore. It happened in the 2000 block of North Pulaski Street, just blocks away from Coppin State. Police say the dogs attacked three people.
Yeah, so that was it.
I had never walked it myself.
For Michael Gabrzeski,
I told my stepdaughter, I said, look, it's not going to be laying out in the open.
the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, uncharted territory.
Do a quick review.
It's going to be tucked away somewhere.
But the former National Park search and rescue officer has extensive experience tracking down missing people.
So basically, it's my passion to bring closure to that family by bringing her back and not having them wonder what happened.
Thank you, guys.
Following reports, 37-year-old Rachel Morin left for a walk and never returned, Gabrzeski and his stepdaughter taking off on a search rooted on instinct.
Molly.
I just kept seeing tunnels in my mind. I don't know why, but I just kept seeing tunnels.
Despite law enforcement swarming the area for almost a full day, Gabrzeski's stepdaughter locating the body in about an hour.
Yeah, that's right, Molly. You know, we were trying to make here on this channel, we were trying to make sense together how you can get from Baltimore to California. Why were they looking in Chicago? Why were they looking in Washington? You know, either this person is in college and he's like on an athletic team, or he's military, or travels for work. Or he's an illegal immigrant who's going to these sanctuary cities. Each location was a sanctuary city: California, Illinois, Washington. I think it was Washington, D.C., actually. So, I mean, it would make sense.
Deadly discovery.
Once we got down there and I started seeing them tunnels, I started getting goosebumps.
Made in a tunnel drain, not far from the trail's main entrance.
I saw.
Or we thought military, too.
Gabrzeski's visions meeting the reality of a gruesome scene.
There's not going to be an open casket, I can guarantee you that.
He says Morin's body found in a pool of blood, suffering severe head trauma, an injury he believes could be the result of a rock.
My daughter said that there was a big rock down there that was all caked in blood.
I understand many of you want answers, and we do too.
The latest update from the Harford County Sheriff's Department declining to mention how Morin died and not yet naming a suspect.
These guys have been kicking some ass with
Morin's
this case.
Boyfriend quickly taking to social media, proclaiming his innocence. Richard Tobin writing, quote, "I love Rachel. I would never do anything to her. Let the family and I grieve."
I mean, it could have been his way of grieving.
Welcome in, Champagne.
But it's not about you. It's about her. It's about bringing her home. And somebody's mother, somebody's daughter. She left behind 5 children.
Whoever the killer is, Gabrzeski convinced it's someone with close ties
He
to
ain't,
the
he ain't
victim.
wrong.
Because it's too personal. If somebody were just to do a thrill kill,
What's up, Richard?
it wouldn't be as brutal as what we witnessed.
Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
All right, if you guys are just joining us, there is breaking news. In the Rachel Morin case, they made an arrest. This guy here, Victor Martinez Hernandez. Now, they picked him up out of Tulsa. He was arrested last night and booked early this morning. And I just found out about 40 minutes ago. And I just could not wait to share this with you guys. I mean, this is great news. I mean, look at this guy. Yep, Molly. But yeah, we kind of settled on the whole illegal immigrant. I did a whole live stream about sanctuary cities and how each of them match up with these locations that they've been investigating. My only fear was that he left the country. But remember, these idiots think they're smart enough to get away. Got your ass. They have him listed as 5'8", 160. He was reported as 5'9". So the sketch and the description was really good. I mean, all around good work on this case, if this is our guy. Shit, they might have him for some other cases too. For all we know. What's up, Misty? Courtney R. heard it here first. I think we do decent work together as a crew. But yeah, I mean, we might have been spot on that one. About the ICE hold and what that could mean. Yeah, does anybody know what that is? Is that immigration? So you have fugitive from justice, court date 6/17. Hold Maryland on the 15th. And then they have hold ICE on the 15th. Wonder what that means. Imagine if he was an illegal immigrant and he just kind of came across the border. That's going to be awful for Biden. Like, I mean, who else are you going to blame for that shit? I mean, other than this piece of shit, Victor Martinez Hernandez. But I mean, what do you expect these guys to do? They're going to take advantage of where they can. Don't create a weakness in your system and then it won't be exploited. Molly, ICE, U.S. Immigration and Customs. Yeah, so why is that on there, though? There's a case number, too, if you want it. There's a case number TLS 24060056. Type that in. All right, I'm going to take a quick look for some links, and if you guys could keep me updated on that. And if you sent me an email, let me know. Hey, Chopper, what's up? Yep, there's the Nike. Kind of goes with the Air Jordan. Thanks, Molly. Yeah, and I'll get to that email here in just a second, Molly. I want to make sure we're not late for this press conference here. Does Hartford County have a YouTube channel? All right, Hartford County Sheriff's Office. I found their YouTube channel just in case. So we'll keep that up. Maybe they'll go live here. Yeah, it doesn't. I have that up as well. I have a feeling it's going to be like a local news channel. All right, let's go to Twitter. Let's go to the Hartford County Twitter page. Official Twitter of the Hartford County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff's Gawler will be providing a media update on the Rachel Morin homicide investigation at 2 p.m. today. Let's go to the comments here and see if they have anything linked up. Hartford Sheriff says on our Facebook page. Thank you. Okay, so it looks like they're going to go live on the Facebook. So we got to find that. There it is. Stay tuned to the Sheriff's Office social media today. Sheriff Gawler will be providing updated information on a major case. Okay, so I have this one open. That's it. That's probably it. It's probably only going to be broadcast here. I just have a feeling last minute they're going to invite the press and then they're going to maybe have it delayed or something. Unless it's going to be a pre-recorded video. All right, let me go to the comment section here on the Hartford County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. No, just a bunch of riffraff. All right. So everything that I found, guys, it says that they're going to be having this press conference on their Facebook page in about 4 minutes. So I hope I'm right. Thanks, Richard. Technically, it's not personal time anymore. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for sponsoring today's live stream. Today is a great day. If you're just joining us, there is breaking news. An arrest made in the Rachel Morin case. Now, everybody following my channel knows we've covered this case extensively. And it's good to see him come to a conclusion, hopefully. But if you guys can help me keep an eye out for possible coverage on the press conference, that'd be great. Right now, I'm just kind of hanging out on the Hartford County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. According to the Baltimore Banner, Victor Martinez Hernandez was arrested in Tulsa in connection with Morin's sexual assault and slaying. Police in Hartford County, Maryland, have not confirmed the break in Morin's case, but they announced a press conference for 2 p.m. So that's it. So they announce a press conference and they don't really tell you where it is. We're having a secret press conference. Good to see you, Cheeks. ICE website says hold notifies local law enforcement to give him to ICE when released, that they can hold for 48 hours, excluding weekends, holidays, regardless of state law. Basically, if local law enforcement is done, handover. That's a good question, Squeaky Will. And I don't doubt that they may be trying to tie some other homicides or assaults to this guy that they haven't made public. Yeah, the sketch is pretty close. I mean, the nose is right on, the ears aren't too far off, but in this photograph, his head seems a little more slender. But yeah, overall, it's pretty close. What's up, Zoe? All right, so I don't see any press conference here. All right, thank you, V. I was like, I hope everybody's kind of snooping around to see what they got going on. Hey, what's up, Jari? Cindy says, this arrest makes me proud of being part of this community. Any extra coverage can help any case. Good job. Hey, Lala says, OMG, just got home and tuned right in. They got him. They got his ass. Yeah, thanks again, Richard. He's a longtime supporter of my channel. He's always sending me cash apps and stuff. And also, shout out to all of you who bought out all the merch. I ordered 12 shirts on the sleuthintuition.com, and you guys bought them all. So I ordered another dozen. They'll be here tomorrow. I did a medium, large, and extra large, and 2XL. And I think I'll just get another box too. I didn't know they were going to sell out like that. Okay, so it should be 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I want to know how they caught him. I wonder if they knew his name. I wonder if right at the last minute they got his name, his location, and did like a whole huge, what do they call it? Like a sting? Yeah, Mustang. Those sketches are really good, especially the nose. The nose is spot on. And from the side view, you can tell he has big nostrils by the video. Justice. I always thought the sketch looked like Greeno. I mean, this guy kind of is built like him. Looks like him, kind of. Lala says, I bet they traced his DNA through genealogy. Yeah, I wonder how they caught his ass. I mean, they were on him. They were hot on his trail. They were in Chicago, Washington, D.C., California. I mean, geez, the scale of that operation and the manpower, it's kind of impressive. Looks like it's on the Facebook page. Is it playing? Oh, it says live. Here we go.
Few remarks as well. She will not be taking questions today. We know that you have many questions for all of us. Please keep in mind that we will try to answer as many as we can, but this investigation is still ongoing, and there are some details we cannot discuss at this time. Again, thank you for joining us.
Can you guys hear that?
Time and dedication to telling Rachel's story. And with that, Sheriff Gaylor.
Thanks, Christy. Good afternoon, everybody. As Christy said, I'm Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor. As everyone's aware, on August 6, 2023, our peaceful Harford County community was rocked when the body of Rachel Morin was discovered in an area just about a mile from here, just off the Ma and Pa hiking trail here just outside the town of Bel Air. In addition to the impact to our local Harford County community, Rachel's murder gained national and even international attention. The young mother of 5, whose life was violently taken in a public location, is one of the safest places in the state. It's not supposed to happen, and it shouldn't have happened. In the days and months since Rachel was murdered, Rachel's family and friends, our Harford County community, and the men and women of the Harford County Sheriff's Office, along with all of our allied partners, have worked tirelessly to bring the individual responsible for her death to justice. Our deputies and our partners have worked this case with persistence and passion for Rachel and for her family every day over the past 10 months. Just over 3 weeks ago, on May 20th, on what should have been Rachel's 38th birthday, and in a poetic coincidence, or perhaps in Rachel's own divine assistance, our investigators uncovered a lead that led us to this day. And on this day, I'm here to tell you Rachel's murderer is no longer a free man. Hopefully, he will never have the opportunity to walk free again. The lead we received was related to DNA evidence and allowed investigators to finally put a name to the image of the suspect in the video from Los Angeles, which we released 2 weeks after Rachel's death. After we had the video, we knew what he looked like. We knew what he looked like, but we didn't know who he was. With the new DNA evidence, now we know who he is, but we still didn't know where he was. As I have stated many times, this killer could have been laying his head in any community in the country or even in the world, and indeed, that was completely accurate. Over the past 2 weeks, investigators continued their diligent investigation and tracked our suspect all the way from Prince George's County to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Our investigators also obtained an arrest warrant yesterday afternoon, and as the arrest warrant was being issued, we met with Rachel's family, many of whom are with us today, to update them on the case and asked of them an almost impossible request, and that was to keep the information about the identity and the arrest warrant to themselves and protected to allow investigators the opportunity to try to apprehend this suspect.
Good job, guys.
Before it was made public in the news, so that our suspect did not have the opportunity to learn that he was wanted and to once again flee. 5 hours after meeting with the family, and just before midnight our time, police in Tulsa, Oklahoma, assisted by our federal partners, located and arrested Rachel's murderer, Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez. So far, we have learned that the suspect, now pictured on the screens,
oh shit! Do you
is
see
a
the Jordan hat?
23-year-old citizen of El Salvador who illegally crossed the border into the United States in February of 2023. We all suspected that perhaps Rachel was not his first victim. And it's my understanding that this suspect, this monster, fled to the United States illegally after committing the brutal murder of a young woman in El Salvador a month
Told
early
you.
in January of 2023.
I knew it.
Once in our country and likely emboldened by his anonymity, he brutally attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother during a home invasion in March of 2023 in Los Angeles. And as everyone I believe is aware, that was our first DNA match linking Rachel's case to the Los Angeles case. It has been a fear of mine that once we identified this suspect, the result would be exactly this. And I want to now direct these comments to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and to every member in both chambers of Congress. We are 1,800 miles away here in Harford County. We are 1,800 miles away from the southern border, and the American citizens are not safe because of failed immigration policies. This is the second time in just 2 years that an innocent Harford County woman has lost her life
We called
to a
it, Cheeks.
criminal in our country illegally. Let me repeat that. 1,800 miles from the southern border, and this is the second woman in our county to be killed by an illegal alien. Suspects, in both cases, they are suspects from El Salvador with ties to criminal gangs. Should not be happening. Victor Hernandez did not come here to make a better life for himself or for his family. He came here to escape the crime he committed in El Salvador. He came here and murdered Rachel, and God willing, no one else.
What they think was going to
But
happen.
that should have never been allowed to happen. Moving on, I want to make it clear that this case does not get solved, and we do not bring this criminal to justice without the amazing law enforcement teamwork from our local, state, and federal partners. And I mean that in all sincerity. Rachel's homicide does not get solved. There is no arrest without all of us working together. And for that, I want to thank everyone here in the front of the room and all those who aren't here, but I'm going to cover a list in a minute. I want to thank all of them for their assistance to our agency over the past 10 months. We are profoundly grateful for your dedication and support. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, especially the Baltimore Field Office, rendered invaluable assistance throughout the course of the investigation. Similarly, the State Police, Maryland State Police Crime Laboratory contributed greatly with their expertise and resources. I must also say thank you to the Los Angeles Police Department, Department of Homeland Security, Naval Criminal Investigative Services, the Maryland State Police Bel Air Barrack, the U.S. Marshal Service Fugitive Task Force, the Harford County State's Attorney's Office, the Maryland Department of Natural Resources Police, the Bel Air Police Department, Maryland Coordination and
Hell
Analysis
yeah,
Center,
CJ.
the Baltimore Washington HIDA, the Tulsa, Oklahoma Police Department, El Salvadorian authorities, and the many law enforcement agencies, both state and local, who provided invaluable assistance to the Harford County Sheriff's Office during this investigation. As I think is evident, this was truly a comprehensive law enforcement effort, and I am exceptionally proud of the work done by the collective team and countless others who made last night's arrest in Tulsa possible. I also want to thank the members of our Harford County community for their patience, support, and cooperation throughout this investigation, to include hundreds upon hundreds of tips that our investigators have received. Today, we were able to provide what some like to refer to as closure for Rachel's family and for our Harford County community. I want to thank the members of the Morin family, and you're going to hear from, as Christy said, from Patricia here in a minute, but no questions. They have been by the side of our detectives this entire time, doing anything that they could do to help the investigation and to help our detectives, to help bring this individual that took Rachel's life to justice. I recognize there is nothing that will ever close the door or bring true closure concerning the loss of Rachel, but it is my hope and the hope of all involved working this case that the arrest of this suspect brings her family and our Harford County community some peace. I would like to now ask FBI Baltimore Field Office Special Agent in Charge, William Debano, did I get it right? Debano, to offer a few remarks.
DeBano. What the?
Thank you, Sheriff Gaylor. Good afternoon. My name is Bill Del Bagno. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI Baltimore Field Office. Today, our focus remains on Rachel, bringing justice for her, finding answers for her family and loved ones, and making sure the violent criminal who so viciously took her life cannot harm anyone else. The FBI is proud to stand united with our partners in the Hartford County Sheriff's Office as we announce this arrest. We know nothing can take away the pain and the anguish Rachel's family and friends have endured. Please know, on behalf of the FBI, our hearts are with you. To the public, keeping our community safe is one of the FBI's highest priorities, and so are the invaluable partnerships required to accomplish this. During the investigation, here's what I can share from the FBI. Our investigative genetic genealogy team in Baltimore worked countless hours to identify the suspect by using crime scene DNA and tracing that DNA to potential family members. Investigators even traveled to El Salvador as part of their efforts to identify this killer. To find the suspect, we provided technical assistance, helping to pinpoint his location. And that brings us to last night, where Tulsa police and FBI agents were able to successfully apprehend and arrest the suspect in Oklahoma. Hartford County and the investigators on this case worked every angle, tirelessly and constantly, never giving up and following every lead and piece of evidence. We thank Hartford County for their partnership and bringing us into the investigation. As Sheriff Gaylor outlined, we thank everyone who helped make this arrest possible. To all those who have been waiting for an arrest to be made, for answers, we hope this brings a sense of justice and some peace. The FBI vows to continue to work every day to keep our community safe and prioritize the partnerships so vital to doing that. Thank you. I will now turn it over to Evan Campanella, the Deputy Special Agent in Charge, HSI, Baltimore.
Thank you, Sec Del Bagno. First off, I would like to thank Sheriff Gaylor for having HSI present for today's announcement. Today's announcement is the culmination of almost 1 year of investigative activity that might not always go noticed by the public. This investigation highlights the cooperation and the collaboration HSI has with its state and local and federal partners, and I'm happy to be here today with Sheriff Gaylor and our partners to announce the arrest of Mr. Martinez Hernandez. I hope that today's announcement, as the sheriff pointed out, will help bring some closure to Rachel's family. And again, I would like to thank Sheriff Gaylor for asking HSI to participate in this investigation and to be here for today's announcement. I would now like to invite Hartford County State's Attorney, Allison Healy, to the podium for her remarks.
100%, Amelia. Great job, Hartford. Hartford, without the T, County and the FBI.
I want to commend the Hartford County Sheriff's Office and other assisting agencies on the hard work, expertise, and diligence identifying and apprehending the suspect in the murder of Rachel Morin. They worked tirelessly on this lengthy and difficult investigation for the public safety of our community and bringing Rachel's family peace, knowing that the next step is prosecution. I will personally be leading the prosecution of this case. While the defendant is innocent until and unless he is proven guilty, Hartford County and our neighboring communities can rest assured that my office will take all steps necessary to ensure that justice is served for Rachel Morin and her family. We have already begun coordinating with the Warrant Apprehension Unit of the Hartford County Sheriff's Office to handle the extradition of the defendant to Hartford County. And once the defendant has been transported back to Hartford County, prosecution will commence. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce to you all Patricia Morin.
This is Rachel's mom.
I'm going to make this really short because I'm very emotional. I just want to take this time to thank all of the law enforcement for all their hard work. I know that a lot of times we don't see what goes on behind the scenes. You know, you see the policeman in the car when you write you a ticket, but you don't see the real work that happens behind. And around Christmas time, we did a canvassing with Harford County. Thank you. And they brought us into a room, and I could see all the people, that were involved. And that's not even all the external agencies that were involved. And it just gave me such hope that they really did care about our family and my daughter, that they were going to work diligently to find the person that murdered her. At one point, when things seemed like really bleak and hopeless,
Later, cheeks.
the lead detective said to me, he said, patience will win in the end. And that's what they've been doing. They've been diligently working very hard, and they've been patiently working through all of the leads. And it's because of that that we have an arrest today. So I'm very thankful and just very grateful.
Wow. This is really good to see here.
To these men.
This
And I'm
relationship here.
also very grateful to the press because you kept her story
That's how it should be
alive
done.
so that people would still continue to send in tips. And that helped them to do their job. So I want to thank the press as well. But I don't know if this is, sorry about that. I don't know if this is kosher or not. I'm gonna step away from the pulpit. But I think we should applaud them.
That was a USB
because I'm
mic,
so
Bluetooth
grateful
mic.
that they have brought us to this place. Because at some of the points during this, I didn't think that we were ever going to have an end, that it was going to be a cold case. So I would like to applaud them.
Oh.
Thank you, and Lisa touched this off. So with that, we are going to take some questions. As Christy said, this is still an active investigation. So there's some things that we're not free to speak about or won't be speaking about. So with that, does anybody have any questions that we can answer for any of the speakers?
I have a question. I want to know if you can a little bit, but what actually happens right now? Like we read it.
I'm very familiar with ICE detainers.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure.
Yes, we are a. There has been an ICE detainer filed on him because he is in this country illegally out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He would not be deported before answering for these charges. So I honestly believe that's the last place he wants to go. I think, sad statement is our jails are better here.
So that explains that.
In El Salvador, and he's going to spend, God willing, the rest of his days behind bars.
Yeah, they're talking about this here.
Investigators are still working. I mean, he worked a few odd jobs that we are familiar with. Did not live a very, expensive lifestyle. But this is a free country. You can, once you're in it, you can move from one jurisdiction to the next, very freely. And he did that from El Salvador into the United States to Los Angeles. Unfortunately, here to Harford County. Again, down in Prince George's County, we had him in the Virginia area, and then all the way out to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And in the year he's been in the country, a little year plus, who knows where else he's been. And it's a fear of mine. It's a fear of our investigators. And as Patty said, our investigators took this case to heart, as they do all the cases. But this case, they took to heart, and they worked so hard and have an emotional tie to it that
I agree, Justice.
I got off on a tangent. That they I lost my train of thought. Investigators are working that.
He's so frustrated. He's like, I just can't tell you what I'm really thinking.
Both Virginia and Prince George's County. But again, as he moved around the country, there were places that we believe he probably had associates, and he has ties to
Thank you,
known
Kitty.
gangs. So we
Thanks
believe
for the
that's how
Cash
he
App. I really appreciate that.
lived his life. That's where I was going before. We fear all the time. The investigators fear that we're going to stumble across another crime that just hasn't been tied back through DNA or some other science or electronic, tie, that the evidence just hasn't reached the point where we get a hit. But right now, what we're familiar with is the crime in Los Angeles, the home invasion in March of 2023, the homicide here of Rachel in August of 2023. And I believe in Tulsa, he's facing some local charges as well for last night. I think trespassing or disorderly or something to that effect. We're not familiar with any other. I'm not familiar with any other charges. No, in El Salvador, there is a what's it called, a red notice, which is basically an Interpol warrant for his arrest to bring him back there to
This fool's
stand
an
for the
international
homicide
serial
of the
killer.
woman in that case down there. Well, and I gotta defer to our partners at the FBI on that one because they did most of the international.
Thanks, sir. So the FBI has personnel that are positioned throughout the world. They're called legal attaches. And we have a legal attaché that is in El Salvador. As we were conducting some of the investigative actions along with Hartford County, the some of the investigative information took us to El Salvador and working with our partners there in order to understand some of the familial ties that are down there, and also bring together back a better understanding of the red notice that Sheriff Gaylor brought up as well.
It is right now, Lala.
I don't have any information.
As I understand it, it was about, I don't know how many hours they're behind, 2, 3, Tulsa. So it was midnight our time, and he was hanging out at a business park or a storefront, and
What's up, Kev?
the police encountered him, and apparently there's a charge of, we say it's trespassing, and he was identified during that arrest and processing.
They must have had an APB out on him.
Well, and that's been a question since the outset. Was Rachel's homicide random or targeted? And again, I don't know that we have that answer explicitly or completely. But at this point, there's nothing to indicate that anyone other than him was involved. We do have some belief that he spent some time here in the Bel Air area, so he may have seen her and her more or less routine operations. One of the things that we caution people, particularly women on the trail, about doing was developing a routine where it can be predicted where you might be. That would be my suspicion. If he decides to talk throughout the course of the days ahead to either investigators or prosecutors as it moves to that stage, we may learn more about, was it just an opportunity because he was on the trail when, unfortunately,
Yeah,
she
maybe he was
decided to go out
sleeping in those
exercising
tunnels.
that day, or was it something more specific? As to the motive, we've been tight-lipped, I guess, about it. The charges in the case are first-degree murder and first-degree rape. And as the colonel just reminded me to say, we do have right now in the air, we have sent investigators to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to follow up on many things related to this investigation. It's very active and ongoing, as I said. He will be extradited here eventually, and that will be done. That process has already been initiated, but it could take, as I understand, the state's attorney 10 to 30 days. 10 days if he doesn't fight it. 30 days if he decides to fight it, but he will be extradited. 30 to 60.
I'm not really sure if we really hear that so often. Attacking people, especially when
Absolutely.
I agree,
And
Squeaky.
I think a lot of folks know genetic genealogy or investigative genetic genealogy in some of the cold cases, and certainly has gotten a lot of attention from the Golden State Killer, and since then, a lot of investigations on the cold case side. I think folks should also know that we prioritize the violent crime cases that are current, and that this is an game-changing investigative tool to understand when there are dry holes and there's no other leads to go, that we can apply the investigative genealogy to identify potentially family members, and then in doing that, take it on to a step where Hartford County and our partners can conduct interviews to better understand who the potential subjects are and narrow down that scope. We also use it on, unfortunately, the victim side when we can't identify a victim through any other means, and building out the cases that way. We've seen over time 130 cases thus far since 2018 that have had successfully used investigative genetic genealogy.
They're traffic. Well, he was encountered by the police and the agents for the FBI who were out there looking for him. So they had an idea of where he was. But I know that from that encounter, there's also a local charge of trespassing, not in a vehicle. He was apparently at that business, I guess, unwantedly so. He was. We already had the name. We had the arrest warrant. So when they encountered him, they knew he was wanted. So he was picked up for that. I,
With the home invasion in California charge there, does this take precedent?
Oh, certainly, this is the more serious, the loss of life. California will follow up on their investigation. They would have to direct questions to that police. It's LAPD that is handling that as far as specifics to their investigation. But certainly, we have been in communication. Our investigators have been in communication with theirs. They are aware that we identified the suspect here, and by identifying our suspect, we have their suspect, they have their suspect, and they can move forward on charges. They would also file the arrest warrant on file. So, I never want him to leave Maryland again. I want him to die in the Maryland jail, Maryland prison system. We don't have the death penalty, so I just hope he spends the rest of his days there. But if he ever got out of this one, he
That's
would be
true, Anna.
sent extradited to California. And if he got out of that one, there's still the red folder, the red notice, where El Salvador will want him back, and ICE has marked him for detainer. So he would go back there to face those charges. I do not know. No. Actually, the major in the back is shaking his head no, he does not. And again, we shared the picture. You all will have the picture. It's going to be, no doubt out there on social media. So we're still looking for information. He was in this area for at least some period of time. And when I say the area, he was in the Bel Air area for some period of time before or right after the homicide, or both. So if people still have information, and now that there's a name to put with the face, investigators still want to talk to you. We still want to know. We still want to build that timeline, because there is a case to prosecute, and we want to put all the pieces together so that Miss Healy can do her job most successfully, and again ensure this guy never sees the light of day. Not that we're familiar with. Thank you all, and again, thank our partners. To have Rachel's family here means so much. To not me, I mean to me, of course, but to the investigators who work this case tirelessly. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of our federal, state, and local partners. So with that, thank you. Okay.
We made a decision earlier today that we are not going to share the suspect's photo on our social media. It was here. If you have, if you would like a copy of the flyer, You can send an email to media@hartfordsheriff.org, and I will send it to you if you would like to use it in your newscast, but we will not share his picture on any of our social media. Any other questions?
Why not?
Great. Thank you again.
Interesting. All right, guys, let's hear it. Let's hear it. So if you guys remember one of the latest live streams we did, it was about that theory. That's where we were here on the Sleuth Intuition channel, was that we were dealing with an illegal immigrant. No DNA on file and just based merely on the movements. Here's a little map I put together. These are the places that were being investigated. All sanctuary locations. If you're going to give him sanctuary, he's going to go there. Didn't quite think that one through, did you? Yeah, here's the file that I had on it right here. It's titled Migrants from Texas to Sanctuary Cities. Here's a little news clip by Julia Ainsley and Didi Martinez. Nearly 40,000 migrants have arrived in Denver over the past year, making a city with a population of just over 710,000 the top destination per capita for newly arrived migrants crossing the U.S. southern border and traveling north in buses from Texas. The influx is taking a toll on the city's public safety net. Starting February 5th, Denver will limit the number of days migrants can stay in shelters and send those who exceed their stay out onto the streets. One Venezuelan family, a mother, father, and their 3 daughters, told NBC News they've been staying at a hotel paid for by the city, but they've just received notice that they'll be evicted. Here's another headline. Texas flies over 120 immigrants to Chicago, and that's a place that they visited during this investigation, an expansion of Governor Greg Abbott's busing plan. This flight comes after Chicago officials reportedly cracked down on buses coming from Texas with immigrant passengers since last year. Texas has bused over 80,000 immigrants to Democrat-led cities across the U.S.
42 immigration rules ending today. We just got video within the last 10 minutes of a bus with migrants from Texas pulling up to the Naval Observatory in Northwest. That is where the vice president lives. Fortunately, this time, because of prior arrivals, local activists were on standby to help those migrants get settled. We're told that that bus just left a few minutes ago, but this is yet the latest bus and what have been really dozens of buses at this point that have made their way to DC, dropping off migrants, shipping them from the border here to Northwest DC.
Okay, so this is DC. Can you guys hear that? I'm not sure if you can hear that audio, but they're shipping. This is them being shipped to DC. Also, during this investigation, they visited Washington, DC. So let's take a look here. Texas also bused over 12,500 migrants to Washington, D.C. since April of 2022. Over 37,000 migrants to New York City. Over 3,100 migrants to Chicago. 3,400 to Philadelphia, 15,000 to Denver, and 1,500 to Los Angeles. So let's see. 1, 2, 3 out of the 6 locations were part of the investigation. So I think we were right. I mean, obviously we were right. If this guy gets convicted, we were right on this one for sure, guys. So good job on that one. Said 5'9", 160 pounds, light build, weird hairline, big nostrils, illegal immigrant, most likely. All right. So we'll spend another, I don't know, 5 minutes in the chat. Teresa Abbott is an asshat. I live in Texas, just saying. We'll take your word for it. Probably could say that for any politician. They're all asshats. It's kind of like what you're agreeing when you choose that life. I'm going to be an asshat. CJK, I would never sneak into a country, enter illegally. Every nation has borders and immigration policies. Ours has to get better. Well, I bet you there's a lot of people who are fleeing from justice here in the United States who are crossing into Mexico and Canada illegally. I mean, why wouldn't you? That's why all the criminals from South America, and I guarantee a lot from Canada, are making their way into the United States, especially right now. I mean, I don't blame them. You know, obviously it's their fault, but if we give them a door, if we open the door, they're going to come in. If you walk over to a prison, and I'm not saying that these other South American countries are prisons. I'm just saying if you were to walk over to a prison and open the door, do you think the prisoners are just going to look at the door, or do you think eventually they're going to start sneaking out of there? Or just make a bolt, you know? That's why you have to close the door. I don't know. I just thought it was common sense. I just didn't. What else did you think was going to happen? I feel like people are ignorant to the fact that people from South America and Mexico, they come over the border all day long. All day they come over, they drive their vehicle, their family, their tias and their tios, and they come and they go shopping. They spend months, a year, and then they come right back and they go home to their home in Mexico, South America. They don't creep across the border. You know what I mean? Like normal people, you're allowed to. Like there's freedom. People act like that's not happening, that you need to break open the border and cross illegally or you're not able to cross. People are crossing the US Mexico border all day long freely. You can come into the United States just to go have a beer if you want. It's really easy. There's no reason to have a wide open border. It's already wide open. Yeah, you got to be vetted. I don't know. It just seems like common sense to me. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. Absence of truth. Aquarian. Sorry I'm late. Hope you and all dads here have a happy Father's Day tomorrow. Thank you. Yep. I'm going to go do an interview with Mr. Patrick Westfall, and then I'm going to go see my dad right after that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Lala, the eyes are spot on. Yeah, the eyes and the nose. The lips are pretty close too. It's pretty good. Like the distance between the bottom of the chin and the lips is pretty accurate. I mean, that's really a good sketch in my opinion. Yeah, CJ, if you wanted to come shopping in the United States, you go right across the border. You might sit in line depending on what time of day, just like rush hour traffic. But yeah, I mean, people come into Arizona and Texas all day long with zero resistance. They don't tell them, no, you can't come in. They say, can I see your passport? All right, everything looks good. Welcome on in. It's like coming into another state. Hey, Boston, welcome in. I think they might send him back first, maybe, right? I think that might be how it works. He'll do that time and then come straight back over here, maybe. What's up, Ruckus? Yeah, it's crazy. What a mess. That's all I can say about the state of things. What a mess. There's no such thing as truth anymore. There's no such thing as common sense. It's all this weird mob vibe. It's like, what's the consensus of the mob? And if you're not part of that, then you're a terrorist. You're a domestic terrorist. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorist. You remember when George Bush said that crazy shit? Oh, man. What a mess. That's all I can say, guys. What a mess. What a mess. Welcome in, Periwinkle. I don't know, Farmer. We're still kind of purple. We're right in the middle. Like, you assume that we're red, but then when it comes to voting, well, who knows? It's probably rigged, so that might explain all that. What a mess. That's all I can say. What a mess. All right, guys, that's going to do it. We're all caught up on the chat. Great news today. An arrest made in the Rachel Morin case. This guy you see here, Victor Martinez Hernandez, an illegal immigrant. So we were 100% right. Congratulations to the Sleuth crew for getting this one right. Despite all the weird pushback we got. But good job, guys. We had a good profile. You got it, Mustang. Yep. And I was also right about him being responsible for other crimes. Man, I was spot on with that shit. And I bet you we're not done hearing about other cases they're trying to tie in with this guy. Somebody came up to Victor and said, "Did you hear?" Did I hear what, man? It's wide open. What's wide open? The United States border. It's wide open. We're all going. For real? Yep, wide open. All right. I got to get out of here anyway. It's getting hot around here. Yep, Boston, we covered that case too. We were trying to make a connection between the two cases. Yeah, big win, guys. We're using all of the knowledge that we're gaining through these cases and studying all these great profilers, and we're kind of learning a little bit, it looks like. Putting it together. Thank you. You as well. And shout out to Kitty Wambalista. Thank you for that donation to the Cash App. I appreciate all of your support. Shout out to the members. And don't forget, we're doing a giveaway at the end of this month. I'm thinking on maybe next Saturday or the 29th, 22nd or the 29th. Still not quite sure how I want to do it. Thank you, Cindy. So shout out to everybody who caught the live stream. And that is all my time, guys. Great news. Thank you guys for tuning in, and everybody who donated today. Cindy, thank you. Leslie and Richard, for all you guys' continued support. Can't do it without you guys. And if you want to, you can hang around for the outro, but that's going to do it. You guys be safe. Thank you for watching the Sleuth Intuition channel. If you are part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Sleuth Intuition is 100% crowd-funded. If you want to support me and help my channel grow, here are 3 ways that you can help. Number 1, Cash App. The funds go directly to me without YouTube taking a percentage. Number 2, become a member. Members are by far the leading contributors to my channel. Number 3, hit up the merch shop. Represent the Sleuth crew on these ruthless streets. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. Until next time, peace.